Okay, listen up, FNaF Fangames. There's a lot of them. And today we're going to be checking out 3 overlooked FNaF Fangames and put them on the chopping board. I mean tier list. Before we start, here's what the current tier list looks like from all the past videos. I'm most likely going to be doing this from this video onwards on FNaF games. Today we have 3 contestants. The nostalgic FNaF fan game, Bubba's Diner. The second game is the sequel to one of my most popular videos, Poppy and Buddies 2. And lastly, a semi-known FNaF fan game called Banana Splits Serial Silliness. So without wasting time, let's start with now, the gameplay of this game. Let's just get this over with. It's very buggy. This game has that semi-free roam to it, kind of like Sister Location. You could be moving around and playing the game normally, and suddenly your character will get frozen and soft locked, and you won't be able to move. It's not like the gameplay itself is really that good anyways. Every night, you just play bland minigames, which include things like an Office FNAF-like minigame, where you have to finish tasks like Pizzeria Sim, and you have to use an audio device to lure them away from you. But I don't know if this is like some sort of exploit, but I just spam the top right audio device, and they just always get stuck there. After every night, you unlock a new minigame. So for the second night, you unlock the plunging minigame. Oh great, and it has copyright music, nice. You're trying to plunge out a plushie from the toilet, and the first time I was playing this, I actually got really scared. Whoosh! But the third minigame is actually pretty decent, and it actually gives some horror to this game, which this game's missing, if you couldn't tell by the plunging minigame. The minigame itself is actually really simple. You have to ask Mr. Giggles over here a handful of questions written on your paper, and all you have to do is ask the questions with enough delay for him to back off while you're under a timer pressure. It feels like one of those FNAF VHS type things. And remember, this game came out way before those. I won't be able to explain it properly, so I'll let the game talk for itself. After that chilling minigame, you'll unlock a broom minigame, and oh my god, there's copyrighted music again. In this minigame, you have to swipe your mouse to broom the room, and you have to occasionally scare off the dog animatronic after you hear a sound cue. The minigame itself takes a while, and it's really bland and boring, and the mouse controls can be unresponsive sometimes, which is really annoying. For the last minigame, you have to face off a withered animatronic in the basement with a Southern American accent.
Who would say, after all this time, after everything you've done, you'd return?
And all you have to do is listen for which direction he's at and flash him. That's it. Now, the gameplay is pretty bland. There was no depth, no seasoning on top with extra content, and it was pretty buggy. Apparently, the first version of the game was made in Scratch, and that the original version of the game was, according to the developer, crap. Alright, guess I can't judge too much. Clearly, this is a test project for the developer to figure out how to code, model, and just how to make games in general, which I can respect, but the game's flawed. Badly. I also forgot to mention this game has noticeably long loading screens, and apparently the loading screen is merely decorative. Yeah, thanks, just like how I could be doing anything else other than playing this game. Well, let's see if the story is a bit better. For the game itself, the game just throws you into the game when you click on start. You're a handyman in Bubba's Diner after a reopening, and you do different tasks in your night shifts. And by the end, you use a shotgun to destroy one of the animatronics trying to kill you. Now, in the original version of the game, which is scrapped now because of apparently bugs, you went on a rampage spree and started killing every animatronic, which is kind of sad that it got removed. But the twist is that you're playing as Edward Clark, a person that might be connected to the dead bodies found in the diner before the reopening, because every FNAF game has to have the trademark dead bodies inside animatronic costumes. Overall, the game is sadly a bit mediocre, mostly being pulled down by the pacing and bugs. As a small FNaF fan game with a short but sweet story, it's great, and there was one pretty good section in the game. Now, since the tier list is pretty empty, I'm going to be putting the game on C tier for now. Oh man, I know you guys were waiting for this one. Poppy and Buddies 2. Now, I'm just gonna say it right now, the game is great, and it's even better than the first one. And just like the first game, this is a first time experience type of FNaF game. So before we go forward with the review, I'd like to suggest you to check the game out for yourself. Like, trust me, this time you really should check the game out for yourself before watching this. You'll thank me later. Alright, with that, let's dive into Poppy and Buddies 2, or Buzzy Bee Interactive Experience as the game likes to call it. So, this game is also made in Scratch, just like the first game, and this game looks even better than the first one. Like, how does he keep doing it? And you can even somewhat move around in this one. In this game, there's 4 animatronics. All animatronics from the first game have been rebuilt new. Poppy the Bee, Arnie the Ant, and my personal favorite, Melissa the Mime Spider. I mean, just look at this thing. It looks so cool. With the tank on her back, I don't know what the hell that is, but this thing looks amazing. But I actually lied. The 4th character is actually a new one. Yep, Laylee the ladybug from the first one isn't in this game. Bullseye is one of the characters that scared me the most in gameplay. He has the most stressful mechanic, and when I was playing the game, I thought this was some sort of mosquito-like character, which made me really scared of him. But after I looked closer in the extras, I noticed he was just one of those rhino insect, and he looked kinda goofy. I forgot the name of the insect, but you know, someone will point it out in the comments. This game takes the FNaF 4 approach with the use of lighting and sound, but in a creative way. So in front of you, you have a spotlight with Arnie and Poppy on opposite sides, but the twist is that you can only hold your light on one of them at a time. This is actually a really creative mechanic, and I have to give the creator some credit here for one-upping himself and making creative mechanics on Scratch. That is insane, Rotas. For Bullseye, you have doors on your left and right, and you have to listen very closely to locate which side of the door he's on. After that, you have to walk up to the door and hold the door with your hands. For Melissa, you have to listen for a sound cue, and after that, you're supposed to find him on the roof, because she's a spider after all, and scare her away with your light. These mechanics do sound pretty simple, but the game is actually pretty challenging and stressful. It's built like One Night at Flumties, where it's one simple night that becomes really difficult by the end, and you just have to squeeze as much time as you can to be able to survive the night. After you beat the night, you'll be given an ending cutscene, and I'm just gonna warn you, if you haven't played the game yet and you still want to, please go and check the game out. Trust me, it's worth it. Alright, ready? Let's go. The ending cutscene shows that you were in a sort of simulation as a test, which is explained by the phone call at the start of the night. The paper is a certificate for being accepted to the establishment, but where were you accepted to? An absolutely chilling ending. After that, you get access to extras which show you a bunch of behind the scenes and scrap content, which I won't get into in this video. My overall opinion about this game is that it was amazing, easily better than the first one, which, speaking of, there are actually teasers for a new game he's working on, so have an eye out on that. I'm seriously not gonna sugarcoat this. This game is an S tier for sure. Definitely a really good FNaF fan game for what it is. Now, for the 3rd game, Banana Splits Serial Silliness. Please come up with better titles next time. Now, this game might be really odd to choose. The game looks like an MS Paint drawing. The game is based off of a real-life old show called The Banana Splits, which aired for 2 seasons. The show is about a fictional rock band getting into a variety of, cartoon situations, I'm guessing, stuff like that. Funny enough, there was also a horror movie based off of this show in 2019. Now, this game is actually a sequel to a game called Banana Splits Sloppy Nights. Oh my god. Let's check this game out and see if it's actually good. After an intro, we get to our computer screen, which is our main menu. You have your basic nights, extras, and change background. Oh, no way, you can have your own background. Oh, no way. Oh my god, yes.
Where's the lamb sauce?
Yes, you can have any background you want on your main menu, which is just such a great touch. You also have a shop where you can buy cosmetics, boosts, skins, and music packs, which is really neat. I mean, there's already a lot of content and we haven't even started the night. So let's just start a new game. The gameplay of the nights are actually pretty simple and pretty bare bones, sadly, but it's acceptable. For the first night, you have to deal with Perrigate. All you have to do is wait for him to show up either on your right hallway or left hallway with a sound cue, and then you just have to flash the hallway. But you also have this elephant animatronic, and you can make him stand on one side of the hallway and he'll block all the animatronics coming from that side.
Wow, that's really overpowered. Surely there has to be a downside for this.
Wow, good job, Einstein. You're right. We'll talk about that on night 3 though, since for the first 3 nights, he's completely friendly. After every night, you get a minigame from collecting bananas to collecting objects underwater. And all these minigames are pretty okay, but some of them do drag a bit too long. You basically have to get to score 727. After doing the minigames and getting to 727, you get a second minigame. You get a second minigame, telling you a story, which I'm guessing comes from the first game. But from what I know, there's this killer that killed a couple of people maybe and put them in animatronics. You know, the trademark FNaF lore, and started putting the animatronics together, maybe? You're also playing as Patton McGregory, a detective that is investigating the warehouse establishment to find clues on what happened to a worker who disappeared. Alright, so now let's get back to the office gameplay. For night 2, you have Bingo attacking you with his bird companion thingy. Bingo doesn't have power, so he uses the bird to get to the power room and gain power, and all you have to do is scare him off with an alarm. If he becomes active, you can still fend off against them with your light and the elephant. For night 3, there's 2 animatronics. Drooper and Snorky. Snorky becomes aggressive after fending off against the animatronics 3 times, and you'll have to flash your light to reset him. And for Drooper, you have to flash him in the hallway as well. If you don't, he'll walk to the other side of the hallway after hitting your window. If he hits your window enough times, you die. For night 4, there's a guy named Stevie. I mean, look at this thing. What the hell am I supposed to say about this? He will spawn randomly throughout the night in one of the cameras. After he spawns, he'll do a laugh sound, and you have to find him in the cameras and look at him to make him go away. If you don't, your flashlight deactivates, I think. Now, here's a tip. You should just save up and use your banana coins to buy his tracker, which tracks him whenever he spawns, so you can know which camera he's exactly on. And for night 5, you go against the killer, Poppy. I think, maybe. It could also be the victim, but she has a knife, which usually screams killer, so I'll just stick to my words. Poppy just acts like the first 3 characters, and you guessed it, you have to shine your light at her to make her go away. I'm starting to see a pattern here. As I said, the gameplay is just bearable, but it was pretty fun, and it had a pretty decent story, all things considered. And the main menu is just something we honestly need for every game. Even after beating a game, you get access to some behind the screens, scrap classic mode, and of course, custom night. You also get access to something called encore mode, but it just seems like it's the same game but black and white, and so I didn't really want to play the game twice, so I just stopped playing from here. Now, the developers of this game are also making a new game called Playtime with Percy, but this game actually looks way better than the other 2, and it seems like they are putting a lot of effort with the looks of the game. The game has this stylish look, and the gameplay also looks interesting from the teasers and trailers, so I'm really looking forward to this game. But they better keep the change background feature, or this game is getting a 0. Now, this game's kind of hard to rank. Now, this is probably gonna change later, but for now, I think the best spot for this game is B tier. And remember, B tier doesn't mean it's bad. I'm not IGN giving every game 8 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, I played 3 FNaF fan games for this video. I don't know if I'll keep doing this 3 FNaF fan game thing, so let me know with maybe a like or mentioning it in the comments and or suggesting different games and different types of games. There's a lot of new fan games coming out, and I do want to keep doing these review things. They're really fun to do. Also, if you haven't noticed, my profile icon is different now, you know, as a sort of rebranding. So no more memes, Snoopy Dog, or whatever. Big thanks to Sugar for the art. They were really helpful and it turned out amazing. I'll put their link in the description if you want to check them out. I also have a Discord server, so if you want to join that, it's in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like my content, subscribe, like the video, comment, even disliking helps. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and see ya.